Hello guys, welcome to my new video demo. And what we're gonna do today is I will do some explanation of my working process and my thinking process when I was doing the photo batching full color work. I tried to record all the drawing step, but I think my computer is a bit of slow. I've never expected that because when I was doing, uh, just when I was drawing in Photoshop, my computer is never really that slow. But when I was recording at the same time, I think my computer is built of too old to handle that. So I choose to just save all the step that I have did and to explain all the process one by one. And I think that is also kind of very helpful and it's easier for me to do the video because when I was recording actually it's kind of time consuming for me to edit all that stuff together and to also add the audio into the pictures. So this one is also pretty good and also very helpful. So let's begin. The first step is for me to draw some sketches, some scratch about the stuff that I'm going to design, that I'm going to do. And I think I have set some goals for this design. I wanted to draw a mech, but it's not like I think nowadays if you go to some website like ArtStation, the most of the people are doing the mech that looks very advanced and futuristic and mostly soldier-like. But at this time, what I wanted to do is not a very honorable soldier-like mech, or is not a very positive mech. Actually, it's kind of a very evil robot. And when you are looking at that, it should be to make you feel scary and it's a very evil and harmful robot because the topic of this drawing is called uh, artificial intelligence create a better future for all humankind. That is very ironic because that is the my idea is one of the scientists. They were building a robot or mech that is they were trying to make some new weapons and or they're trying to do something that is helpful for humankind, but in the end they just end up to build a robot that is all of their control. And that robot in the end that robot will definitely turn that lab to become a bloody place because all the scientists at that place will be become a part of the bloody scene. So what I want, I will set some goals for myself. That mech need to be looks like a bit of creature like. It will have some make some sense that is similar with a creature or organic or a bit of biological feeling in it. So I will draw some. I draw a bunch of sketches to help me to find the specific design that I want. Out of the first one, and then maybe, and then maybe out of the first one is this is actually the first sketch, and actually I hope I will find some inspiration from alien movies, and because I think that it looks really cool and kind of have the same feeling that I want. So the first one, I think that I want it to have very long head, just like alien. And but I think this sketch is a bit of the proportion and the structure is still very similar with a human. So, but I will just when I was finished this sketch, I feel is not very successful with my goal. And the second one, I will try some other structures like his arm actually looks like a bug, and he have a big belly. Not really a big belly, but just I want to try something different, and he doesn't have a foot and some other stuff. This one is basically the same idea as the second one, but with some different silhouette. And this one is more like a zombie or mummy like mech or robot. It really have a organic head. I think for the head, it maybe will looks like just have some flesh on it, and it will be very organic, and all the body part is very is still very similar with the anatomy of human being, but with mechanical structure. And I will draw some more specific guts and organic stuff at here, so it will looks very scary, almost like a zombie, but is more like almost like a mechanical zombie. Yeah, I think this one is pretty cool. But it's not strange enough. I want the silhouette and the structure looks more strange, and the scale should be much bigger. For this one, of course, it can be bigger, but it's like a giant if it is too big. So it's not crazy enough. So I have a go for the next one. It's actually very similar with Alien about this one, but it have a leg that is actually looks like a human leg, maybe like a girl's leg, women leg. Maybe I should call her instead of him. So maybe this is a female, and it have some how to describe this, some round shape at the back of his head. I think this one is pretty successful, and I will go through some other stuff, more strange shape, and experiment with some different silhouette. For this one, there is a bone. I really want to show that a bone, his backbone, looks very cool. For this one, I'm just trying to make that part more clear, and I want it to have a different head instead of like this one, a very long head. So I will try some different shapes of the head for this one, and kind of similar idea as this one, but I have changed the proportion, and I have give it a more robotic head, and also show some bones at here, and kind of same idea as this one, but try some different silhouette, different shape of the hand, and different shape of the food, stuff like that. And it's also kind of similar idea as this one, but for this one, I think it should have some different shapes on the head. This is actually a vacant part, so you can see the inner structure of the head. Actually, this one is also pretty cool, I think. And the finger is very thick, and a strange leg at there. This step basically just experiment different ideas and different silhouettes and put it there. And so you can decide and select which one is more successful. And let's go for the next step. And I will select the stuff that I like the most. There is 4 different design from the previous picture, and I will put that there and draw another one. Actually, I think this one is also pretty cool. It have a very long it have some very long limb, and for this arm it's actually not that is not very mechanical structure. Is actually will be covered by some rubber, and but you can these fingers is also iron and mechanical, and this thigh will be very angular, but how to call this shin this another part of the leg is kind of very organic, and a very long foot toes. It's actually this one is also pretty good, but I haven't go to this one. And after this, I think I love the most is still this one, so I will put this as here so I can modify the different parts and experiment more, so I can decide which one actually to go. For this one, I have a modified arms to make it more like it's almost like a opened arm. The structure is very similar with if we open the arm, and all the anatomy will be exposed and separated. But this is just a normal condition of the arm. It's not been opened. The arm is just looks like this, but it will have some similarity with opened open arm. Yeah, but so I think this made the silhouette more interesting, and the shape will be kind of crazy. And the next one, let me see what is the differences on this one. Oh, I have added some bags on her leg, so maybe I don't know. Okay, maybe I will just add some bag at there. So I want this design still have some human structure, so you can just when you are looking at this mech, it will remind you about human being, because it have some structure that is very similar with human. So I think that will make this design more scary and looks strange, and yeah, I just like that kind of feeling. Just is you almost feel that is mainly a robot or a machine, but is also looks like a human. So you don't really know that is a new kind of human, or that is just object. So that kind of feeling is always made me exciting. And the next one, I cut that head away. So I will add some other structure, just some round circle shape on top of the area, and some other stuff. This one is almost like zombie-like, because it have a 2 head-like device at there, but it's not really a head. It's just a 2 round shape gears at there, but it will have some round circles on top of it. And this one is kind of similar, but it have some different structure on it. This one is basically cut the head away and add a module or a gear, a boxy, just almost a structure that looks like a box, and it will protrude to the side of to the side of the Mac. It's not protrude to the front, because that is bit of not interesting enough for me. And this one is add some wires at there. After I go through this, I have choose the one I love the most. I think that cut the head away is really a good idea, and I don't want. I think this zombie-like design is also pretty cool. Actually, I've considered a lot when I was almost finished the design. Should I modify or adjust this Mac to become like this, because it really pretty cool. But I'm just decided to stick with the original design, which is like this. Just cut the head away, and just go through some different options of that. And this one is basically just no head. This one have some wires out there, and this one is have some device at here. It's just very quickly go through some different options, and just different stuff. And but finally I will. Oh, this one is more. No, it's yeah, nothing. This one is different pens, some different shapes on the pens. This one is very straight line. Some how to describe that, trim on there, and this one is very curvy lines on top of the pens. Just try and experiment different things, so you will finally find what you want. And the last picture is a little bit clarify the structure, and also trying some different stuff. For this one, there's a glove on his hand, but it's not a normal glove. It's kind of a strange glove, because he or she doesn't have a normal hand. So of course the glove is not normal. It's abnormal. This one is added some bigger bag at here. So I want to emphasize that human-like feeling. So I think added some things or stuff that usually only humans will have that stuff, or wearing that stuff will be very helpful for you to get that human-like feeling. So when people watching as this stuff is very human-like, but it's a machine, is no feelings, is cold blood, and you don't know what that thing will do to you, and they have the same power as you have, and even stronger. So you cannot really control it. Yeah, it's kind of cool, I think. Yeah, I think this is all the thinking process and the experiment sketches at here. And then finally, I will go for this one, I think, because the bag is good, but I don't like the glove. Yeah, and I will put it in. I will give it an environment and draw some line. Is basically the very basic proportion and very basic perspective. But I think this one is a bit of too high, so I have lower the perspective, so you can feel that a Mac will be taller, and then that is higher than you. You will feel that it's higher than you, more powerful than you, in front of you. That kind of feelings. So, and also give it some wires out there, because this is a lab. Is some scientists out there, and then they are trying to build a machine, and yeah, it's a basic just scratch. And then the next one I will photo batch the background first. Actually, I don't really care the background that much because the design is focusing on this Mac, and the environment is really just made this picture more interesting and made it more vivid. So the background is basically just need to be factory or lab, a very high tech place, and you can feel some that is a place that a bunch of scientists or workers are building some high technology stuff at there, and that would be enough. Basically, all of this stuff just decoration, and I will give it a stage so the Mac can stand on top of it. it so it will be if it is standing on the ground, that will be kind of strange because and that will lost the feeling of experimenting this new technology. And I will give it I will fit some gray color in the line, so when I was doing the photo bashing I can see the structure more clearly. If I'm just directly photo bashing on top of the line like this part, it will be so blurry and hard to figure out what is at there, what is that stuff, because that will mix with the background. So it's kind of uh, causing so many problems. So give it a gray color is definitely very helpful. And basically, my photo bashing technique is just because I have already drawn that line design there, so I know what is the approximately what is the design, so I can find the picture that I want and put the picture into the Photoshop. And for example, I want this camera or lens right here. I will just use the lasso tool to copy that part and put it here and draw on top of it, and find some other picture to repeat this basically, and then just copy paste and draw on top of it, and to mix it with the other part to made it together basically, just to combine a different shape and remove the part that you don't want and leave the stuff that you wanted there, basically like that. And give it some filter, basically give it some different color mood out there, and keep photo bashing, and give it clothes. And I have a, maybe we can call this clothes. Yeah, even though it's not a human, but I have changed a little bit about the design of the clothes, because after I have go through some references, and I noticed this design is kind of similar with the box. If you look at some box, their belly, sometimes some of the box, their belly just have this structure out there. So I think that will help us to make the sense of creepy and scary, harmful feelings for this Mac. So I will put this design here, and then you can see all the hand and the fingers is actually comes from the spiders, more specifically black widow. They're like kind of very long limbed. I think just like a human instinct, when you are looking at this shape, that will give you a feeling that comes from billions of years of evolution. So it's almost like a instinct of human being. So the design is always shape. The shape language is always following that theory, I think. And yeah, just keep photo bashing, and draw. And this part is like a human rep. It will have some just like a human-like mech, so that will be more scary, because when you are looking at human that doesn't have a skin, I think that is pretty scary, right? So I will store some feelings from that. And the next one, keep photo bashing. Actually, this device, this stuff is a device that at a space station, and they will put the big arm that at a space station. If you guys search the picture of that, it will have some big arms that will help astronaut to do some work, and or help them to expand the space station, and they will add that arm on top of this, and this stuff is on top of the other part of the space station. And from what I know, that arm is been produced at Canada, I think. I've watched some video about that, and this stuff is just that maybe foundation of that arm, and they will put the arm on top of this. But in my drawing, it becomes the part of the leg. So because the structure is really similar with my sketch, I keep photo bashing the pens, photo bashing, keep draw and hand. Like what I said, that this shape comes from the black widow spider. So yeah, keep photo bashing, and I'm usually will use that adjustment layer, and I will put that layer on top of all the pictures, and use that is curves adjustment layer, and use that to adjust the overall color of the entire drawing. That is very helpful for me to control everything at once, and that effect it will affect all the layers that are below that, and you're always able to adjust the curves because of the layer. So it is very helpful and very, very useful, and I'm really suggest you guys to try that, and keep photo bashing, drawing, add some wires, and add some scientist. The poor scientist, they finally will become something. Become something we cannot recognize. What is that? Just red water. I'm sorry, scientist. And add some top light. And actually, I have lowered the contrast about the background, because previously I think that contrast is too heavy, I think. So it's hard to recognize the silhouette about the mech, because it's too dark, too many shadows at there, and the mech is black, and the wall is white, so it's almost like camouflage. That will the mech is perfectly blend in. So I will add some light as there, and lower the lower the construct, and so it will becomes more natural. I think it's not more natural. Just allow the mech pop out, so I can see it more clearly. And add some dust. I've made this brush by myself. I'm sorry, and it's actually I have use a plastic bag and put some mod in it, and scan it into my computer, and I use that picture to make this brush by myself. And because of the mod is the mod in the flower pots, so it have some things that is comes from flowers, so it worked pretty well. I'm always using this to do the dust in the air, so this whole picture will becomes more realistic. And I think I've missed something. I think it's not yet. Yeah. So let's go to the next picture. And this one I have lowered the bluish filter because that is too blue. It's strange. And here I have add some shadow, do some shading, and also add some light. How to describe this? Just that kind of shining light at this area out of here, and it's very helpful because previously I haven't drawn any shadows. Actually, it's just photo bashing. Just put that photo out there and just focusing on design. But the overall shadow looks really poor. It's really flat. All the stuff is really flat. So I will. It is kind of the similar technique when I was doing the linear design. Just create a new layer. And create a new layer and draw some shadow on top of it, and clear the silhouette again, and it worked very well. It really helped this mech looks more three-dimensional. Is that a proper word? Just looks better actually. And I have erased some of the dust because I think previously that dust is too much. And what I did? Okay, I forgot what I did. Okay, and just change the wires, some small adjustment, and add some pattern on its clothes. Because previously I think it's really the whole design is full of black and it's just same color, so it becomes pretty muddy, and all the stuff is makes it together. So add some lighter color on top of it. It's very helpful to help the contrast of the design, and add some light, small light at here, blue light, and delete that light because I think it's too much, and keep draw some shadow, draw some dark part, and what I did at here, adjust a little bit about the light and the bluish feeling, And this one is at is just because I wanted to change the silhouette, because I think this straight line is really rigid, and it even is parallel with this wire. So it is three parallel line and here, so it looks awful. So I wanted to broke it. I wanted to broke that parallel line. So and also made this the silhouette of the mech itself more interesting. So I will add little bag at here. Yeah, and add some decoration on the wall, and also this logo of the company, the sign, DADHK, artificial intelligence, create a better future for all humankind. Thank you so much. I'm really appreciate that, scientist. Thank you, guys. What I did here, it's basically nothing. Maybe just put the copyright at here, and yeah, I will draw some shading and all the gears, so it will looks better. And I will use that technique of how to create a 3D glass effect to make how to describe this, just if you move that channel about the picture in Photoshop, it will create just like this bluish, just blue color at here, this blue light at there. So it sometimes is very helpful to help the overall looking about a picture. So after this effect, it will looks more realistic, I think, the picture, and it looks more just looks better. So I think that is a very helpful technique, and is really helpful. Okay, basically like this. Basically this is all the process, the thinking process, all the step when I was doing this design. So hope you guys like it. Hope you guys feel this is helpful, and I think I will do more stuff like this in the future. So thanks for your support. So see you next time.